Hi, and welcome to What Women and Men Need to Know Today. We have a very special guest with us today, David Hamilton, who is City Manager of Lafayette, the City of Lafayette. He's joining us on his one many rare occasions, and we welcome you, David, to this show today. It's very informal. We do take callers from our phone lines, 7646 and 7712. So if you have a question that you would like to ask David, we welcome you. And we welcome you, David.
Thank you.
We have a very important subject that we're talking about today, and it's coming up. I just looked on the website a while ago, and it's 30 days and 18 hours, and probably some few seconds now, because that was about 45 minutes ago that I looked it up. So there's a counter on the website, and I'm sure you look at that many times a day, don't you?
I don't really have to.
It's in your mind, clicking down, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Welcome, and we want you to tell us about this because it's very exciting. If you've been, viewers, if you've driven down Highway 27 into the city of Lafayette, you've seen, and I don't know what they're called, David, the things that are up on the poles.
Pole banners.
Pole banners. Mm-hmm. You've seen those beautiful honeybee banners, and they're very attractive. That's just one way that you have been notified as a person that there's something exciting buzzing in Lafayette, and that's the Honeybee Festival.
Yes, ma'am.
That's just one way. We have many, many others, and so we're going to spend this next hour talking to David, and he's going to be sharing with us about this exciting new thing that's coming up. 30 days. Today is May 3rd, and on June 3rd, there's going to be a lot of excitement. I don't know where we're going to be at that time. About this time, yes, I do know where I'm going to be, I think. So, but we're going to fill you in so you can pencil it in on your calendar and get ready. Mark down the date, the time, and the place so you won't be left out.
Don't miss out.
Don't miss out. We won't have it again the next day. So where do we begin, David? I really always am interested in how things begin. So if you'll take us back a while and tell us kind of how did the Honeybee Festival get started?
Come about.
Yeah, how did it come about?
So the city has been working on a strategic plan, and we have a draft strategic plan in place that we're still updating, and I think one of the important components of the strategic plan is that it's flexible, and it needs to adapt and change as things change, mm-hmm. as society changes. But one of the focus areas of the strategic plan was to expand our community events and have an opportunity to bring other people into our town, show the beauty of our town, and also give them an opportunity to see what we have to offer. So we've heard that a lot from our community. We've done surveys in the community. There are a lot of people interested in Freedom Festival and doing more with Heritage Day festivals and the fly-in and a lot of the events that we already offer. And we started talking about building another event, and the city of Lafayette is not unlike a lot of other smaller hometown type cities, that we have to make an effort to make sure that we're doing things to be attractive and be a place that people want to come live. We want our children, when they graduate high school and they go off to college, we want to have them an opportunity to come back to their hometown and be a part of leading the future of their hometown. And this is one component of 16 different focus areas that we're working on to try to encourage that. The Honeybee Festival, and I get asked that, why honeybees? And a lot of people don't know this. I think word's getting out a little bit better. Over the past 10 years, approximately 1/3 of the bee population in the United States has been lost. And also, Albert Einstein once quoted that humankind would not survive the destruction of bee species more than 5 years. They are extremely critical. Pollinators in general are extremely critical to our food supply.
Right.
And it is a very worthwhile cause to try to educate, try to help people understand the importance of bees in general, pollinators in general. The honeybee is kind of the poster child for pollinators, I think. And it also has the opportunity for people to become amateur beekeepers and help support the honeybee in general, the species in general. There have been studies going on for at least the last 10 years, really aggressive studies trying to understand why we're losing the bee population and what we can do about it. Pesticides are one of the items that's been identified. The overuse of certain types of pesticides that destroy honeybee populations, destroy colonies. They've also discovered several viruses that have moved in and destroyed populations, and mites. There's a certain type of mite that is destructive to colonies. The honeybee is the Georgia state insect. In addition to being a worthwhile cause, and we also are fortunate to have Pigeon Mountain Trading Company right in our downtown area. A lot of people don't know they are a major supplier of honeybees throughout the nation. They also supply beekeeping equipment as part of their core business, as well as other things too. But one of their core competency or what they really focus on is honeybees and beekeeping in general. And we've been fortunate that they've been very supportive, and they are our diamond level sponsor, and have been instrumental in helping organize this. The other thing that the festival accomplishes, and what's been really neat for me to see, is the community involvement. People such as yourself have really stepped up and wanted to be a part of this and help lead different portions of the festival. Miss Helen is helping us with the baking contest. She's been helping us organize, putting the rules together, put an application form together, and judging the baking contest. Jim Powell has been instrumental in leading the effort and putting the overall picture together, putting the festival together, as well as helping promote. I could go on and on with various people, some of whom probably wouldn't want me to mention their names, but it's been really cool to see a lot of the community get involved and start helping lead an effort and try to build something really neat, which is another part of the idea of building the community events, is to get people excited about Lafayette and excited about what we can do.
A lot of talent's been brought to that table, and such excitement about sharing it. Yeah, I think that's the happy part. I think that's what, and that helps you so much too.
Oh yes, I
in
couldn't
getting
do
the
it.
work
Yes,
done.
ma'am. Yeah, I could not do this without the help. And
Lots of good things on the list now, and for months you've been working before anything was on paper, before anything was on a billboard, before anything was on a flyer. Months and months and months that David and a core
Jim
group
Powell,
of people
Christy, yes, ma'am.
worked to get it together. And now we're seeing the fruits of the labor, so to speak.
Almost.
Almost. And but we are seeing that the plan now has been made and laid out, and so you, the public now, are now about to have an opportunity to see the fruits of all of that hard work and lots of hours of, because these things don't happen. You don't punch two buttons on the computer and it just poofs.
No, that's
That
for sure.
it happens. Hours and hours of hard work for each little individual, not little, but each activity is lots and lots and lots of hard work. So please recognize that and realize that as you look at, as you see a flyer like this, recognize that each one of these represents hours of work from the committee that's working on that, and David, who's working right in the middle of that committee as well. You'll see these around town. You may see them and pick one up. You may see a larger version of it that you can't pick up. But you're beginning to see a lot of information in paper form to put on your refrigerator to, help to remind you, because we were just talking about we can't remember anything, and then if we write it down we can't remember where we put it. So sometimes we do need better reminders to help us know where we need to be and what we need to do. So I think that's a wonderful tribute to the honeybee. I'm sure we have no idea how very important the honeybee is to our vitality, to our lives, because so many people think we go to the grocery store and the food's always going to be there, David. And from an agricultural point of view, that's not the way it is. If we, as farmers, if they can't grow the produce, and if the pollinators aren't there, you are not going to grow, and you're not going to grow the yield as much as is needed to feed not only one person, but the numbers of people that each grower is expected to grow for. And so our food is going to become more and more scarce. So we've never had to deal with that before in our wonderful country. We've always had more food and throw out food, but we have never had to deal with a scarcity or rationing of food before in my lifetime. And I'm way older than you are. So, and certainly you haven't seen that. But these are things we might have to contend with if we don't recognize and realize that we need to pay real attention to this problem. Something as small as a bee.
That's right. Could
determine our future. So I'll get off my soapbox now about the bee, but that's okay. So how many people would you say, now there are all kinds of activities, how many people would you say are involved?
We have approximately, I would say, 16 to 20 people directly involved leading individual efforts, and we're also building a volunteer base. The junior ROTC at the high school is getting involved. The cross-country team at the high school are going to get involved from a volunteer standpoint. The football team, and I'm sure I'll leave someone out, but the schools have been very interested, very excited about helping from a volunteer standpoint, as well as just countless other people, individuals, business owners. Like I said, that's been part of the fun part, or the exciting part, is seeing people get interested and come up and want to help and excited about doing something. I'm probably 100 volunteers, I would guess, and obviously we're at the stage now, we're about a month away where we're starting to try to get a little more definition around volunteers and where we need them and how many do we need. And with it being a first year festival, that's one of the other challenges, is trying to foresee the unknown. And we have Music on the Square, which happened for about 5 years, that we've got a little bit of basis to start from. We've got some ideas for how things went there. And so it's not a complete brand new thing. We've got something to start from, but it is bigger than that.
This
we're closing more Main
is
Street.
different,
Yes,
right?
ma'am. So I'm thinking, that's probably what we're looking at, maybe more.
So if we have anyone who's listening, if you are interested in volunteering,
please reach out.
Yeah, reach out. Give us a call. Give us your phone number. We'll be glad to get that to the person who's in charge of volunteers, and they certainly will not throw your name in the garbage can.
That's
I mean,
right.
you will be assigned a job. Because there are so many places where volunteers are needed and maybe more recognized as we go along. I mean, because as you said, nothing's been done of this magnitude before, so probably still some aren't even known yet as we speak.
We know we're going to need a lot of volunteers for parking, for instance. Trying to route people, especially that may not be familiar with Lafayette, in the different parking areas and how to get them there, how to get them back to their vehicle. The cruise in, we're going to need several people volunteering there to help place cars in the right areas and also help make sure that the crowd isn't at risk if a car is moving. And I could go on and on. I know the Kids Zone has a lot of volunteers. One of the things they're doing is a field day type feel or event, and that takes a lot of volunteers.
Yes.
You've got people running these smaller game type events, and it takes people to do that.
And when kids are involved, you always need lots of eyes and arms and legs. If you will kind of lay out for us, I know we don't have a picture yet to show it, but if you will kind of lay out, because I've had several people say to me, well, where's this going to be? Is it going to be, where is it going to be? Like, is there a spot where it's going to be? Well, not exactly. So if you will kind of paint a picture for our audience, if you will, and give us a layout of where things are going to be and what downtown Lafayette, Georgia is going to look like 30 days from today.
Okay. Down on the square, sitting in Patton Street and Main Street, right off the corner of the Bank of Lafayette, that is where the main stage will be. It'll be sitting in between the red lights, facing north. The square is probably mostly going to be vendors, probably mostly arts and crafts vendors. We don't have a lot of power on the square, and so we'll probably be placing vendors that don't have power requirements there on the square. As you come up Main Street, and a little bit there on both sides of Villanelle, Main Street all the way up to Culberson Street, which is where Hammond Jones is, will be vendors.
We're going north now, so
Yes, ma'am.
case you don't know.
Going north up Main Street. That will be vendors, a combination of food vendors and also arts and crafts vendors. At the Pigeon Mountain Trading Company, it's where the old KFC building, the old Kentucky Fried Chicken building is. Right next to the Walker County Messenger. That will be the learning center. The beekeepers, Roger Artis is chair of one of the local beekeepers associations. They're leading up the educational effort, showing people about bees and doing demonstrations of extracting honey. I think the extraction may take place inside the Pigeon Mountain building, just to reduce the risk of bees, bee stings and things like that. But just giving introductory, all the way up to advanced education on beekeeping in general and honeybees and why they're important. We've also got a local business that Christine is her name. She's going to do some education for elementary type education on honeybees and why they're important. That'll take place there. We have a gentleman that's planning on doing a education on non-timber forest products, talking about ginseng and types of mushrooms that naturally grow in the area. Part of that kind of natural organic movement and educating people on opportunities they may have that they don't know they have, and various other opportunities there in the education area. As you continue up North Main, and some of this is a little bit tentative as we try to figure out how many cars, how many motorcycles are coming for the cruise in. more or less, and also vendors. We're already somewhere around 70 vendors, and we may be faced with a position where we have to limit the number of vendors based on space. But if we can, we would like to continue adding opportunities for vendors. Yes, ma'am. So it's possible that vendors will go across Culberson Street, but that's a little bit unknown right now as we're firming up the applications coming in. The cruise in will be somewhere in that area. The First Baptist parking lot, the old Sonic building right there by the police station, Main Street going up to Joe Stock Park. In Main Street, around the Marsh House, facing south, will be a second stage. The city of Ringgold, we've been fortunate to have a good relationship with them. We're renting a stage, a really nice mobile stage from them. We're putting it in Main Street facing south. And Joe Stock Park will have a variety of a really cool kid zone. And I had to make some notes so that I could try to remember it all. I know they're having inflatables, face painting, animal balloons. The library is doing a walkthrough story as well as a remote book checkout. I mentioned the field day activities earlier. Just a lot of fun, and I remember from my childhood, field day was my favorite day of the year. I think it's probably the same for my children. Just a lot of fun there. Reflection Riding in Chattanooga Nature Center is going to be in the kid zone. They're bringing their birds of prey exhibit. They are also bringing their herpetology. They're bringing snakes, and they're bringing, I think, a couple mammals. I'm not sure exactly what yet. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. A dunk tank. We also have a guy that's doing a train ride. It's kind of a mini train that doesn't need tracks. And then surrounding Joe Stock Park, we're doing a barbecue competition, which we've learned a lot about. From a space standpoint, we're doing a non-sanctioned event this first year. We're investigating what it takes to become sanctioned. Mm-hmm. Calhoun, just last weekend we were down there. Calhoun does a sanctioned barbecue event, and it's a really big draw for people. And the competitors, it's a lot of fun for them. It was fun getting to meet some of them and getting to hear their passion for barbecue and the excitement that they had. We believe we have space for 12 vendors. We're full. We're filled up. We've got 12 people.
12 barbecue vendors.
12 barbecue competition.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, competitive teams. And we're right now trying to figure out if we've got room to add. Maybe there's room for 2 more or something like that. But we've been very pleased with the turnout there. Especially, one of the things we've learned about barbecue competitors is generally they plan their events a year out. And this started coming together probably in February or March. Mm-hmm. So we've been very fortunate to have already filled up 12 spaces there.
Exactly.
One of the questions I get asked a lot on that, some of them will sell, some won't. Some of them are purely there for the fun of the competition. They're not interested in selling, and some do prefer. They would like to sell. We are planning on doing a People's Choice Award with the barbecue. It's still optional for the vendors. But we plan on having some barbecue available where people can, and it'll be a blind test so that you don't know which team you're voting for. But just, again, something fun, something else that's another opportunity. Mars Theater in Lafayette is going to be part of another entertainment area in between the 2 stages. I think they're going to do about a 2-hour taste test, sort of, or give people an idea of what they've, all the hard work that they've done putting productions together. They're going to be part of the festival. We have line dancing. We have a group that does line dancing that I think may move around the festival. They'll be part of that other entertainment area. We have cloggers that are going to be part of that other entertainment area. The 2 stages I've kind of quickly gone over, but there will be live music starting at 9 a.m. on the north stage. We have sound checks and things like that we have to do on the south stage. Plan is on the south stage, the live music will begin probably at 1 p.m. And we also, the antique tractors probably will be part of the cruise in. That's another one we're still figuring out placement as we define where vendors are going on the map and so on and so forth. The baking contest,
Yes.
which we talked about initially, we'll have a judging, and I really should defer to you to talk
And we
about how
will
that
just announce the winners in that south stage
Yes, ma'am.
at 12:30 before the sound check at 1.
Yes, ma'am.
On the south stage area. So that's when that will be. And we'll wait until, because it's almost time for us to take a break, so we'll
Okay.
wait until after the break to talk about the whole baking contest. But
Okay.
so on the north stage, will there be music, something going on that north stage every hour? I mean, continuously, David, all
Yes.
that?
Yes, ma'am. We've got acts booked from 9 a.m. until the last act goes on at 4, so it'll be off somewhere around 5. And at that point, we sort of expect the festival to condense or move down towards the south stage, leading up to the headline concert.
So someone could conceivably just come, will there be chairs, or do you bring your own chair? Or
It'd be bring your own chair.
so I could bring my chair, go to the north stage area, maybe get some barbecue, sit down and just listen to music all till 4 o'clock, and then move down to the south stage area and get ready for some more. And
Yes, ma'am.
in between the walk between the north, I could shop all the way
Mm-hmm.
down to the south stage area. Does that sound like a plan?
That sounds like a
Hey,
plan.
so, got a plan for you, got a plan for you. If you don't have anything else you want to do, and if you do, you just do that on the way between the north stage and the south stage,
Check
right?
out some classic cars on the way.
That's
and
right.
Antique tractors.
Walk slowly,
Mhm.
look carefully, you might miss something.
That's
So, hey, that sounds like a plan to me.
All right.
Fold your chair up, put it on your strap on your back, and you're ready to go to the next venue. Wow. And the best part, free,
Yes, ma'am.
no
Free admission.
admission.
Yep.
Free, no admission.
We've been very fortunate. I mentioned sponsors. Pigeon Mountain Trading being the diamond level sponsor,
Mm-hmm.
CHI Memorial is a platinum level sponsor, and that's a lot of what has allowed us to do this, and have the free admission, as well as the city of Lafayette. The city has obviously played a large role in this, but we have many other sponsors,
Right.
in addition to that.
So I have 2 minutes before we go on the break. I'm going to go over the whole list of things. When we come back, we're going to talk about the main event that's going to go on at the south stage, and then I'm going to talk about the baking contest. There's live music, arts and crafts vendors, and food vendors. Boy, that's enough for some people. Some people go to a whole show for one day just for those 3 things. Barbecue competition, a baking contest, a cruise-in, that's with antique cars, right? Antique tractors, birds of prey exhibit from the Chattanooga Nature Center, a free kids zone with face painting, games, and inflatables. So if you have children, it's for the whole family. There's something for everyone. And they have the education center with honeybee, beekeeping tips, exhibits, and demonstrations going on in the education center all day. And then you top it off with Craig Morgan in the afternoon. Wow. That's all I can say. Wow. And we're going to go to a break and take a break. So listen to these words from our sponsors.
We're on the air 24/7. A North Georgia taste of heaven. A fun place to be. And we're your family. You see TV.
For over 4 decades, your neighborhood ShopRite supermarkets have been the standard for quality and service. Locally owned means you'll find a smile on every aisle.
Best meat at the best prices. Farm fresh produce.
Weekly specials on a variety of products.
Get the ShopRite seal of approval. You can't shop wrong at ShopRite.
ShopRite this week, they have pork loin roast for $1.79 a pound. That's half a boneless pork loin roast. Yum! They also have red ripe tomatoes for 79 cents a pound and 2 5-pound bags of russet potatoes for $3. Included in their specials this week, fresh avocados, my special favorite, $1.29, 1-pound bag of fresh lemons for $2.29, and a 4-pound bag of navel oranges, $3.49. Now they still have those wonderful Vidalia onions they had last week. They still have them, except this week they're cheaper, 59 cents a pound. And they also have the Vidalia onion, the onion ring batter mix, also for sale for a 16-ounce package for $1.99. They have boneless pork chops for $2.39 and Purnell country sausage, 2 1-pound rolls for $5. These are just a few of the many values they have at your local ShopRite store where they still take your groceries to the car.
The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is right now. The same rules apply to financial success. Saving money is the first step towards financial independence. And at the Bank of Lafayette, we have an investment account for every situation. How much you save is not nearly as important as establishing a regular pattern of saving and placing of your money aside in a safe and secure place. Whimsical thinking and immediate gratification can rob you of a financially secure future and a safe and comfortable retirement. At the Bank of Lafayette, we can help you choose an investment account that will help you reach your immediate, short-term, and long-term goals. The one rule that always applies across every economic timeline and condition: the sooner you begin saving, the faster your money will grow. Bank with confidence at the Bank of Lafayette, your hometown bank for more than 110 years. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
At the Rosewood Assisted Living and Memory Care, we have everything your senior could want in a safe, comfortable residence. Several levels of services include short-term housing for weekends or longer, assisted living where the staff provides a watchful eye while preserving your loved one's privacy and dignity, or independent living where residents are able to take care of themselves yet have access to all amenities and a sense of security. And the Rosewood on Battlefield Parkway specializes in memory care for patients of Alzheimer's or dementia. Call today for a tour of our campus.
MetaThrift Pharmacy, located at 324 West Patton Street in Lafayette, across from the ShopRite. MetaThrift Pharmacy provides prescription drugs, including compounded prescriptions. They also have diabetic supplies, including custom diabetic shoes. They have lift chairs, potty chairs, shower seats, and other durable medical equipment. MetaThrift Pharmacy in Lafayette has a friendly, well-trained staff that will help you with your drugstore needs, whether you're on the phone or in the store. You may also leave your refill request on their automated phone system, available 24 hours a day. Make them your choice for your pharmacy needs. MetaThrift Pharmacy, 706-638-3114.
It's the Honeybee Festival 2017 in Lafayette, Georgia, on the square, beginning at 9 a.m. June the 3rd. Folks, there's live music, arts and crafts vendors, food vendors, a barbecue competition, baking contest, cruise-in, antique tractors, the Birds of Prey exhibit from Chattanooga Nature Center, a free kid zone with face painting, games, and inflatables, honeybee and beekeeping tips, exhibits, and demonstrations, and featuring country music superstar Craig Morgan. Also the Stepping Stones, Channing Wilson, Robbie Hopkins, Sons of Sailors, and many other groups. It's free admission and it's sponsored by Pigeon Mountain Trading and CHI Memorial. The Honeybee Festival on the square, June 3rd in Lafayette.
We're back. David Hamilton, City Manager of Lafayette, Georgia, joins me. We're talking about the exciting Honeybee Festival, where things are just buzzing about it. lately, and I want to tell you about the baking contest because I would love to see hundreds of these applications coming in, David. I don't know how many we'll have. It's the first year, but we hope everybody will take this challenge. And this is the application form. You just cut this in half. The instructions are at the top. The form that you send in is at the bottom. These are the prizes. These are the age categories, first of all. 12 and up, 12 and under is one category. 13 and over is the other. We have two age categories. The prizes, and this is sponsored by Roper, $100 for the first place winner, $50 for the second place winner, and the grand prize receives a Roper range. Now, nothing ventured, nothing gained, but all you have to do is enter a recipe that includes honey as an ingredient. Now, I don't mean 1/4 of a teaspoon in a cake, but honey as a significant ingredient so that you can taste the honey in the cake. You just enter the recipe by noon on May 24th. It must be received by the City of Lafayette at 12 noon. You could bring them by, I guess, David, if you couldn't get it there, right? You could just bring it by, drive through and give it to them.
Absolutely.
By noon on April 24th. If it's not there by then, because we're going to begin the elimination that day, so if it's there the next day, we won't be able to judge it. But you gotta enter to win. It's that simple. It is a cake, any kind of cake you want to bake. We weren't specific. We left that to your discretion, and it's just an easy thing. The instructions are in this first paragraph. Please follow them carefully because we don't want you to be eliminated because you didn't follow the instructions. So we have a caller. David, let's see. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, good morning, Helen.
Good morning.
I want to ask the David, when are they going to start mowing the streets off?
The mowers are actually running today.
Are they?
Yep.
Well, good. I need my street mowed off.
Which street is that?
Macklemore.
Macklemore Street?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, we will pay attention to that.
All right, thank you.
Thank
No
you.
Bye.
Okay, now that we've got the streets mowed, we'll continue to talk about the baking contest, but remember that date. Those that are selected will be contacted. I will be calling you. So if you get a call from me, you know that you have been selected. Your entry has been selected. You will then bake that cake and bring it to the festival on June the 3rd, and you will be given explicit directions as to where to bring your cake on June the 3rd and how to get there. Because you may have to park somewhere specific or get there because it's going to be, as David said, a busy day. And you will bring that cake and it will be judged that day. So if you don't enter, you can't be a prize winner. You can't have your picture in the paper.
That's right.
With holding your $100 check or receiving.
Taking home a stainless steel range.
That's right, taking home your stainless steel range. So nothing ventured, nothing gained. So I encourage you to pick up one of the application forms. They have these at City Hall, right?
We have them at City Hall. You can also find them on the website.
Yes.
myhoneybeefestival.com.
And print off your own. If you can't find one, call. I'll help you get one, or call City Hall. They'll try to help you locate one. But please, or like David said, the easiest thing is go to myhoneybeefestival.com and print one off. There's a place you can just click and you can print one and just fill it out. Now, we're going to talk about the headliner on the South Stage, David.
All right. Craig Morgan. We're very excited to have Craig. He has hits. He's still on the road on the radio. You still can hear him on US 101. That's what I love about Sunday. It's one of my favorite songs of his. Wake Up Loving You, Redneck Yacht Club. A lot of people are familiar with Redneck Yacht Club. Very fun. Kind of a little more of that traditional country sound. Everything I've heard about him, he seems like a really great guy. In addition to that, had a lot of people excited about Craig Morgan coming and being our headliner. We also have a band called the Stepping Stones, which is going to be the opening act. It's more of a progressive rock type sound. We've got Channing Wilson and Robbie Hopkins both playing in addition on that main stage. If you haven't ever heard either of those guys, they're incredible. They're really fun to listen to. Also both country musicians. We've got Sons of Sailors. Prior to that, they are a Jimmy Buffett tribute band. They may be on stage for an hour and a half. Jimmy Buffett just has so many hits that it takes a while to get through them. I think that'll be another one that'll be a lot of fun. It's been years since I've been to a Jimmy Buffett concert, so that'll be fun. And then prior to that, I didn't bring the exact lineup with me, but like I said, we have live music bands all the way back starting at 1 p.m. on that main stage. If we find out that we can get the sound check done earlier, we may even get started a little sooner than that. Like Helen had mentioned, we're announcing the winners of the baking contest on the main stage. During the transitions, pretty much every hour, there will be an MC. We'll announce the winners of the barbecue competition on the main stage. We'll also be just talking about the festival and during that transition and making people aware of everyone that's there. US 101 is also doing a live remote the day of the festival. They will be somewhere in that area, possibly over near the Learning Center. But just a lot going on, a lot of fun.
And should I expect to use my folding chair there at the south?
Yes.
So remember, get your chairs out, get them dusted if they're old and the bottom's rotted out since last year when you used it. Get you a new one, get ready.
And it may be standing room only, especially as you lead, closer to the main event. It's
right.
It may be a challenge to find a place for a chair.
Wouldn't that be exciting? Yeah, it surely would. So something will be going on all the time. It won't be downtime. At the North Stage, there will be music until about 4 o'clock, so there might be an overlap of two places you could hear music, both the North Stage and the South, from 1 to 4. When the South Stage begins after 1.
That's right.
And the North Stage would be continuing. So, surely something's going to...
Something will suit your...
Something's going to appeal to you,
We'll have some classic rock,
surely.
we'll have some gospel, we'll have some 80s type music. I mean, we'll have, I think, a pretty good variety of music throughout the day. And that's part of what we were looking for is, have a good mix of music.
I know people are always concerned, as we should be, about handicap accessibility. David, can you tell us a little bit for people who might be thinking, well, I'd like to go, but I'm not sure in a crowd I'd be able to get around?
Our plan for handicap parking is right at Villanelle Street. If you enter Lafayette from 136 or Villanelle Street from the bypass, our plan is to have handicap parking behind the Bank of Lafayette Community Center.
Yes.
And we'll probably have some overflow maybe on the street. It's one of those things that's it's kind of hard to plan for. It's like parking in general in terms of knowing how many. But yes, absolutely, we'll have accessibility there. And the festivals. We don't really have stairs in our downtown, so it's all pretty much on flat ground, not necessarily level, but at least pretty flat, and so that's definitely been taken into consideration.
And the sidewalks are all in good order, so moving, if you have a chair or however you're traveling, you should be able to get around.
Shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. So know that has been discussed.
We are on that note. We don't plan on allowing motorized vehicles like golf carts
Okay.
for safety reasons.
Okay.
You know, expecting that many people around, and that's typical of what we do with our other festivals.
So no golf carts.
Yes, ma'am. That's correct.
Okay. And all of the square will be blocked off, no traffic through the square, right?
That's
I mean,
correct.
It will all be closed to traffic. So all this is going to be a protected walking only area.
That's correct.
So,
All the way from Patton Street, you know, there at the Bank of Lafayette,
Mm-hmm.
up to Marsh House.
So-
Will all be closed off, as well as the side streets.
so you'll need to take the bypass. If you need to get somewhere, you'll need to take the bypass and then
Cherokee Street will be open to traffic. Duke Street will be open to traffic. We expect people coming in from the south on Main Street. We've got a lot of parking arranged on the south end. People coming in from the east will likely either go north on Duke or south on Duke and go to a parking area somewhere, depending on the time of day and parking availability. People from the north will likely be routed to the old high school parking area, Food City parking lot potentially. People tend to park there pretty often. People coming in from the west side, there's a lot of parking available over around Brookwood Shopping Center, as well as the old high school. Harbor Lights Baptist Church down kind of on the southwest,
West side.
close to Ace Hardware. And then we've also got shuttles that we're lining up for more distant parking. Even potentially, you know, if it reaches out to the new high school, if we have a need for that many vehicles, the old Food Line parking lot potentially. So we're lining shuttles up to try to help facilitate, get people into the festival more easily.
that's great. That's great, because if we have those big numbers, what would be at this time, David? What is your best guesstimate?
I'll feel like it was very successful with 5,000 or 6,000 people turning out. I think it's got the potential to be much larger than that. And from a parking standpoint, from a logistics standpoint, we're trying to plan for far more than that.
10,000?
Or even possibly more.
Mm-hmm.
And I would rather be over prepared from a logistics and parking standpoint, because there's an off chance that it's even big. I mean, being a first year festival, that's one of the big unknowns, and it's one of those things that keeps you awake at night, trying to figure out how this is going to work and how we're going to handle this kind of traffic and this many people. So.
Well, as you said, it's always better to plan for it and, have it and not need it than to be in the middle and go, now what are we going to do? When you start making plans in the middle of it, it's not good. It's not a good time. But we know it's going to be great and exciting, and it's just going to be a fun day.
We're excited about it, and we next year, we don't have a date set for next year, but there's been a lot of conversations, a lot of other people that have wanted to be involved, and potentially doing, maybe there wasn't time to do it this year, but next year they want to do a pageant, do a Little Miss Honeybee or a Honeybee pageant. We are doing a bike ride. We're doing the Honeybee Metric Century bike ride. We wanted to do it on the day of the festival. There was conflicts with some of the other brag rides around the state, and as a result of that, we're doing it on May 13th this year. We've had a lot of excitement and a lot of interest in that. The last I heard, I think we had 75 people, it might have been 80, signed up for the bike ride. We've got 3 routes. We've got a 10-mile, about a 33-mile, and then about a 63 or 64-mile. The largest bike ride which is the Metric Century, is about 100 kilometers, is going all the way up through the town of Chickamauga. It's going up Straight Gut Road all the way up through the town of Chickamauga into and actually through the city of Rossville around the duck pond, back over across 193 up to Blowing Springs Farm, which is Rock City's. Rock City's got an attraction down there where they do a corn maze and things like that. That they're really growing. Rock City's the big sponsor on the bike ride. That's where the ride will turn around and come back, and it's an opportunity for people. And we've had a lot of people sign up from out of town, St. Mary's and north of Cleveland, Tennessee. People that'll come get an opportunity to see Walker County, not just the city of Lafayette.
Right.
And in addition, the city of Chickamauga, the city of Rossville have also been very supportive and wanted to be part of this. So we're excited to be working together as a region and as a county and local cities to try to do something. There's been talks next year about a 5K and a 10K, and I think this is something that's it's just got a huge opportunity to grow as part of the bike ride. The Friday night before, on May 12th, there will be a bike rodeo. Kids can decorate their bike, and there'll be a contest for the best decorated bike. There's going to be a bike path set up, sort of a miniature obstacle course type thing for kids to enjoy. Hot dogs, and just a fun evening. There's an inflatable. We'll have an inflatable set up there. This will be at the main rec. And just another fun,
Just a preview to.
That's right.
Yeah, just a step and a preview toward the day. So, if anyone has questions about the festival events, and we did mention out close to Costco, there's on I-75, there's a billboard. So, if you've seen that honeybee billboard, I think. It's kind of like a mini version of this flyer that we showed you. That's what it's announcing. It's announcing the Honeybee Festival, and just think about all those people that are traveling. 1 in every 10 people in the United States go down I-75. I learned that in a seminar a long time ago, so I'm probably more than that now, but a lot of people are seeing that, so maybe they just say, what if we come back and go to that Honeybee Festival on June 3rd? So we don't know who might show up.
That's
from who knows where, but we know that you need to show up, and before that you need to enter the baking contest. Just think about all that good barbecue, just smelling it.
It was like I said in Calhoun. We were down there, and it was amazing. It was hard not to go ask for free samples everywhere.
Yeah, I used to judge the contest in Dalton, and it was just really something good to taste. I mean, just to taste the ribs and that was a good job to have.
I'll bet.
I'm sure no one turned that job down once asked, I'm sure. But if you have questions, please contact. You can call City Hall, I'm sure. If you
706-639-1590 is the rec center. City Hall is 1501, 639-1501.
Go to the website. That's where you'll find a lot of information, including the countdown ticker that tells you exactly how many days, hours, and minutes it is until the fun begins. And, if you just want a fun day for your family, I can't think of a better outing, because there's something for the children, something for young and old alike. You don't have to be young or old to participate in any of those, I used to love those inflatables when my nephew would have a birthday party. I always loved to get on the slide and do all those things. So, there's fun and things for everyone, no matter what age or mentality you are. You can always enjoy all of them. So do write June 3rd on your calendar so that you don't plan something else and then forget, because I have to write things down more than once. So we appreciate you being here today, David. Is there any final thing you want to say that I'm trying to remember anything that we might have left out. Is there any final thing you're remembering?
Really, I appreciate all those of you that have gone unnamed. Anybody that I haven't mentioned and thanked for being a part of this, helping put this together, and also the sponsors. Like I said, we have many other sponsors, and Blossman Gas sponsored the barbecue competition, the way Roper has sponsored the baking contest, and we have sponsors for the Kids Zone, for just a variety of things, and we really couldn't do this without you, and we can't do this without help. We're excited and obviously nervous, and we're just we can't wait for June 3rd.
Just a little anxious.
That's right.
Just a little anxious. And we hope you'll be excited too. I think it's going to be a fantastic day. And we hope we see lots of faces that we know and a lot of faces we don't know. But we'll be there.
And thank you for having me on your show.
Well,
I appreciate this.
Well, I'm glad you could be here, and take your time, because I know you have many other things taking up your time, but I wanted you to meet David and see the force behind it all, and the kind of the incentive that's there urging us on. And I hope that you'll be part of this festival and let it be part of your day and your plan as well. And we'll be back again next week for What Women and Men Need to Know, and we'll be talking about it some more too.
All right.
Thank you, David.
I guess I need to mow Macklemore Street.
Yeah, don't you forget.